Wallace Gator Bradley, President of United in Peace, Inc. And we got an interesting show for you tonight. But first, let me start off, as I normally do, by saying to God be the glory. And I thank him for blessing me with my executive director and producer of this show, who happen to be my lovely wife, and the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., Miss Terry Marsh. With that being said, let me get busy. There's a lot of things that have been happening in the news this past week, so I'd like to bring you up to date on the fact that it seems that Ronna still wants to veto SB 1, which is a funding bill within the budget that has been balanced. Okay, he had the legislative body come there and speak or to meet to try to make a decision on the school fund bill or the funding that's in the bill. And one of the things that I'm realizing that a lot of the downstate legislators, state senators and state representatives downstate, and some of them are Republican, are in support of SB 1 because it makes sure that all the districts are able to get money from this budget that has just been passed. Okay, and for Governor Ronna to want to veto that part of the bill, which is the funding for the schools, because he feels like Chicago schools will get more than the schools downstate, when he knows full well that if he don't approve of that SB 1, none of the schools will get funding. So let's hope and pray that Ronna's heart is touched and that he listened to the legislators, downstate Democratic and Republican, and really think about the children and support SB 1. Moving right along, one of the things that has been brought to my attention is what's happening in Washington, D.C. When you see where now Trump is using his chief of staff and his attorney general Sessions as a punching bag. He's mad at Sessions because he feels like Sessions should not recuse himself. And the reason that we have a special prosecutor is that Sessions recused himself and allowed the special prosecutor, Mueller, to be appointed by the assistant or the deputy attorney general. When Trump brought this on himself because he fired the FBI director, because the FBI director was investigating the fact that the Russians had something to do with interrupting our elections in 2016. Now they're investigating the president for obstruction of justice, even to the point that the president feels he has the power to pardon himself, his family, and his friends. And the Republicans feel like, why are you beating up on the Attorney General when the Attorney General was doing what you want him to do? And you went public and said you mad because he didn't do what you wanted him to do. And that was to make sure that that Russian investigation would disappear. Well, I just got news that the president fired his chief of staff because he got this new guy that's over his communication, named Saraguchi or something like that, but it's not Spicer anymore. Spicer glad to be away from that mess. But he started fighting with Bannon, who's the strategist for Trump, who helped him win the election, And Remus, I think that's his name, or whatever his chief of staff's name is. The fact of the matter is, he's out of there now. They appointed somebody else to be the new chief of staff. So as long as they fighting in house, we don't care. Maybe they hurry up and impeach the man to make life a whole lot better for all of us in America. One of the things that's important to me is that when I see my friend Eric Holder being retained by the Cook County Defender Amy J. Capinelli to assess the Cook County's bail bond practices. And when you see where Chief Judge Timothy Evans is in support of it, and when you see that Kim Fox, the state's attorney, is in support of it, and when you see the sheriff, Dart, being in support of this bail bond system, the new bail bond system, where they do not want to hold individuals for nonviolent acts. And they want to find a way to release them, especially those individuals that end up getting a bond that they can't pay, that may be as high as $500 or $200 or $1,000. They can't get out on bond, so therefore they remain in the county jail. So I want to give kudos to them that believe in saving taxpayers' dollars. Because do you know, I believe it costs in the thousands to feed an inmate in a 7-day week, when his bond might not be nothing than no more than about $200. And they spending close to $1,600 to feed him. So if you allow that individual to go home and put him on a monitor, and his bond was $200, just think, I'm being hypothetical here, just think, you're saving taxpayers $1,400 for holding an inmate that they should release. That's my opinion. So let me hear your opinion, because your opinions are expected, because they're protected on this show. And while I'm on that, there's something I want to share with you. It says 2 individuals were charged in a federal sting. They are now accused in shootings. It says 2 men already facing charges after being nabbed in a controversial federal sting operation have been accused of participating in separate shootings while on bond, including a homicide and the shooting of a Chicago police officer, according to court records. I'm not going to say their names because they allegedly done all this. But it was a sting where dozens of so-called stash houses defendants charged in the U.S. District Court of Chicago who allegedly agreed to commit armed robberies at drug houses after being approached by informants working for the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. That's ATF. They are part of the crew that Trump sent to Chicago to help turn the tide against senseless shootings and killings in our community. And now listen. After being approached by informants that's working for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So, young brothers and sisters and old brothers and sisters, I think it's time to retire from that antisocial behavior. Because those who may be giving you that gun may be working for an agency to get you arrested, and they put them back on the street. I read in the paper here recently where a Judge Boyd, he's in domestic court, He's a judge in the domestic court of Cook County. And he gave a gun, he turned in a gun 8 years ago. This is this. He turned in a gun 8 years ago and got the $100 gift certificate, or the little card they give you that's worth $100, and you can go and buy gifts or whatever you want to do with the $100. Just don't buy another gun. 8 years later, an individual, the police killed an individual in Cicero. And that gun mysteriously was found next to the guy that the police killed.
Thank you.
Now let me scratch my head on that. I don't know how that happened. A gun that the judge gave and turned in 8 years ago, and they supposed to have destroyed that gun. How did that gun, 8 years later, end up next to a body of individual the police killed? I got a caller coming in. Maybe that caller can help me with that question. Caller, could you please state your name and know that your opinion is expected and respected on this show?
I sure do, my friend. My name is Ray. I call every week.
Hey, Ray.
Yes. You know, about what you were just talking about, that's 100% wrong. But the stuff that you were talking about earlier, about the guy, well, you know, shoot, that's my favorite. One second.
Okay.
About him. What was you talking about earlier? Oh, I know. I got it. What are you going to do when the mayor of this city does nothing about all the killings here in Chicago? We're even ahead of last year already. Don't you think that maybe we do need some help from the outside? And you were right. Man, if you don't want to get caught, it's just going to get tough with this federal stuff.
Right.
You know, if you don't want to get caught, don't do the crime.
Don't do the crime. Ray, I agree with you. I got another caller, Ray, but I agree with you. I thank you for calling. You're absolutely correct. Our responsibility is, to my listening and viewing audience, we have a responsibility to let individuals know that you have a right to do what's right as opposed to doing what's wrong. And the one thing that I was saying about the judge, and we talking about the guns, the judge gave a gun, he turned the gun in. It was an old 38 special that his father had. He turned the gun in. And the gun was found 8 years later, laying next to an individual that a police officer killed, and everybody trying to find out, how did that gun get back on the street? Was it dropped off? It should have been burnt up. Caller, I'll see you. Could you please give me your name? Because your opinion is expected and respected on this show. Caller?
Hello, sir.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm fine. This is Pat. How are you?
Hey, Pat! Hey, Pat, before you get into it, I want to share this with you.
What?
You know, I'm with your favorite fella. You know, my son, Carmiel. He in town. He got his masters and everything. You know, every time I hear about you, you know, my good LLC chairman.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's what we were there for, right?
That's right.
The whole reason why we did what we did and served what we served, because we wanted to make sure that they got those degrees.
Right. And me and the wife saw you and your daughter doing wonderful work at Simeon. So let's get into it, because I know you got something you want to share with me.
Well, I want to say this first. I want to touch on the statement that Trump made about the parking situation.
Okay.
So number one, have you ever in your lifetime heard a president ever make a statement such as that?
No.
Number two, Have you ever known that a president has had to pardon himself for any reason?
No.
But the sad part about the situation is that that's that man's reality.
Yeah, it is.
That is his reality because he may, in fact, have to pardon himself, his family, and his friends. That's the sad part about the whole situation. And this is our president. This is the man that's running our country.
Right. Well, you know, Pat,
Sad.
it's real sad. I want to share this with you. From what I'm seeing and what you're seeing and others are seeing, the Congress folks and those in Washington, D.C. are coming to the realization that this country and the stability of this country is more important than party line politics. And you see where the senators are now making sure that the president can't get rid of the special prosecutor, Mueller, and the Republicans are letting the president know you better back up off of Sessions. You follow what I'm saying? So they coming together. So with that, sister, I want to say I love you, and I want to say this here. Make sure you go see, if you ain't saw it already, make sure you go see that movie, Girls Night Out. Is that what they call it? Or the Girls Trip?
I'm definitely going to go see that and tell my sister I'm going to be getting with her because we got to do some stuff, some more work up at Simeon, so I got her.
All right. Love you, Patty.
I love you, too.
Okay.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
And now it's time for me to do this brief FYI and notice so everybody know who I am and who I be and how to get in touch with me. So if you want to get in touch with United in Peace, Inc., the People's Alternative Anti-Violence Project, know this, it takes all of us because we are a community resource initiative. My email is LAGATOR, B as in boy, the number 4, and the word peace at yahoo.com. And the phone number is 312-371-6914. That's 312-371-6914. And again, the phone number is 312-371-6914. And my email is LAGATOR, the letter B, the number 4, and the word peace at yahoo.com. I have a young lady that's about to come on. I want her to introduce herself to you because I want you to hear what her problem is so that we can give her prayer and we make sure that people do what they're supposed to do.
Hello, my name is Rasha Hinkle, and I would like to thank you for inviting me to your
President Man.
Thank you so much. I'm coming here today because my family are having some housing issues. We live in a major development within the Chicagoland area with the Interstate Realty and the Michaels organization. And within the organization, we've been having issues with the entire complex with getting issues actually completed with flooding within the apartments. And this is the new development, the developers that are going to build for the projects, where the area where the projects actually were torn down, they're actually going to be the developers. And we want to make sure that they're building quality properties for everyone in Chicago.
Right.
And just get our issues addressed so that when the new developments are coming up, that they don't experience the same issues that we're dealing with the new developments, with flooding, with gas leaks.
Right.
And the gas leaks are
Now, I heard they had a gas leak over there that was about, 20-some days before y'all realized that it was a leak?
Yes, sir.
Boy, I tell you how great God is. Y'all ain't dead.
Yes, sir. We actually dealt with the leak for over 20 days, and it was actually my unit with my 4 children and husband. The leak lasted over 20 days, and we didn't know. They actually told us it was sewer gas. Mm-hmm. And luckily, someone in a unit on the first floor, in which I live on the 3rd floor, actually contacted the gas company. and they came out and they immediately turned off my gas in my unit. And they told us our unit was actually full with gas, which we kind of assumed. We knew it was gas. We just didn't know it was natural gas that we were actually dealing with. And they told us to keep our windows open.
Right.
So it was.
Well, you know, one of the things I want to share with you, because we like to inform the public that if you don't say nothing, nothing will happen. We and you, as the people, can make demands upon the guise of public safety. And one of the things is, could you let them know where that complex is, that area is?
Yes, sir. It's Savoy Square on 44th and State Street. They also own property on 42nd Street, but it's like any property with Interstate Realty and the Michaels organization. And it took us contacting the corporate office in New Jersey,
Okay.
the downtown office of Chicago,
Okay.
the management office, and we were talking about calling about 10 times a day to actually get hot water and gas back on.
Well, I want to say this publicly to you. That's why when I heard, I reached out to you. And I want to tell my viewing and listening audience, she is a great parent. Because she would have been here earlier, but she made sure she was going to get her babies and bring them with her. So, for your children, when they see this show, I'm going to get you this link.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know, I want to say to the children of this lovely mother, know that y'all blessed twice. Blessed that she said, thank you, Father God, and come get him out.
Yes, thank you.
And blessed that she loved you. And that's the third ward.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get your information so I can get that to the alderman.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want those companies to feel like they can target you because you informing them. I'm hearing around the country how buildings exploding and all that type of stuff, you know. So for the new developer, you need to reach out to the alderman and say you would like to reach out to this young lady because come Monday, the alderman is going to know who she is, and she will ask the alderman to set up a meeting with you and her so that she can become your outreach advocate for you to do the right thing as opposed to the wrong thing. You follow what I'm saying? Because in the city of Chicago, and especially in the 3rd Ward, and Pat Dow, don't mess with her. You saw what she did about that $55 million that they took out the 3rd Ward and took to the what was that? Navy Pier.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna make sure developers doing the right thing in the 3rd Ward. Again, give them your name.
My name is Rasha Hinkle, and I'm a school teacher in Chicago with 4 children and a lovely husband. And just FYI, just if you have issues with any building maintenance, I really suggest also BOD Chicago. Building maintenance of Chicago 311 did a wonderful job as well. And I thank everyone, even Mr. Hall, just
Right.
thank you.
Oh
Nice
yeah,
to meet
yeah.
you.
Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall is a good guy. We down like bloodstone for almost 30-some years, plus years. You know, from Harold Washington to Jerry Butler to Curl Mosley Brown, you name him. Reverend Jackson when he wanted to be president and made it easy for Barack Obama to be president.
Yes.
Me and Hall been there. So one thing I can say, we get net worth from networking because it takes all of us to help one of us so they can help someone else. You know, it almost look like my time. Girl, you came right on time. You weren't late. Hey, I want to say this is Gator, friend of yours. And my phone number is 312-371-6914. And I want to say, if we work together, united in peace, through God, all things are possible. And with that, to God be the glory. You have a nice one, because we having one.